Ever notice how the smartest person in the room is often the quietest? Most people think intelligence looks loud, big vocabulary, quick corrections, always having the answer. But the more you study human behavior, the more you start seeing something different. The people who are actually intelligent move in another way entirely: calmer, more observant, less interested in proving anything. And here's the part that really changes how you see them: they're incredibly aware of what not to do when others are watching. Today, we're going through 10 behaviors highly intelligent people almost never display in public. Some are obvious, some are subtle, and number 6 is the one many people excuse, yet it instantly reveals who truly understands emotional intelligence. Let's get into it. 1. They don't constantly interrupt. We've all felt it. You're halfway through explaining something, and someone jumps in. Not to understand, but to be heard. It feels small, dismissive. Smart people recognize something most miss. The person who talks the most usually learns the least. They let others finish. They watch body language. They pick up information everyone else loses because they're too busy preparing their reply. I once watched a team discussion where the quietest person spoke last and somehow summarized the entire situation better than anyone. That's not passivity. That's precision. Interrupting doesn't signal intelligence. It signals anxiety about not being seen. 2, they don't humble brag. You've heard it before. I'm so tired, I've had interviews all week. Oh, managing so many projects is exhausting. It's praise, wearing a costume. Here's what intelligent people understand. If something is real, you don't need to polish it in front of everyone. Confidence is quiet. When you're secure, you don't look for clever ways to insert your resume into normal conversation. You let your work carry your reputation. And strangely, that restraint often makes people respect you more. 3, they don't pretend to know everything. This one surprises people, because many assume smart individuals must always have answers. But watch them closely. They ask questions. They say, "I'm not sure." They lean forward when someone explains something new. Why? Because they care more about getting it right than looking right. I remember speaking with someone highly skilled in their field, and every few minutes they paused and said, "Wait, explain that part again." No ego, just curiosity. Pretending to know protects pride. Admitting you don't know builds intelligence. For they don't waste energy on pointless arguments. You'll rarely find them fighting to win conversations that don't matter. Not because they're weak, because they're efficient. They can feel when a discussion has turned into performance instead of progress. And once that happens, they detach. Sometimes the smartest move in the room is simply deciding, this isn't worth my peace. 5, they don't talk down to people. Condescension is often insecurity trying to wear authority. Truly intelligent people can break down complicated ideas so clearly that anyone can understand them, without feeling embarrassed for asking. They remember what it felt like to be new, to be confused, to be learning. So instead of elevating themselves, they elevate the conversation. Clarity over superiority, every time. 6, they don't gossip or spread negativity. This is the one most people ignore, because it can feel harmless, entertaining even. But pay attention to who avoids it. Highly intelligent people are very protective of their mental environment. They know that speaking about someone who isn't present, especially negatively, slowly trains others not to trust them either. It leaks reputation. When they have a problem, they address it directly or they let it go. No side conversations, no character attacks, just maturity. And honestly, you can predict someone's future by how they speak about people who aren't in the room. So if you enjoy learning the small behaviors that quietly separate emotionally intelligent people from the rest, subscribe. This channel is for people who like seeing what most miss, new insights every week. All right, let's continue. 7, they don't live on their phone during conversations. Presence is rare now, and rare things are powerful. When intelligent people talk to you, you can feel it. Eye contact, attention, engagement, no constant screen checking, because they understand something simple. Connection can't compete with distraction, and the person who gives you their full attention will almost always leave the strongest impression. 8, they don't make everything about themselves. You share something personal, and suddenly they've redirected the spotlight back to their own story. You share a problem, and they immediately launch into their similar but somehow worse experience. Sound familiar? Smart people resist that urge. They know sometimes people aren't looking for comparison. They're looking for understanding, so they stay with you. They ask more. They let your moment be yours. It's a small discipline that builds enormous trust. 9, they don't rush to judgment. Fast conclusions feel satisfying, but intelligent people are comfortable waiting. They want context, they want angles, they want the full picture. While others react, they observe, and very often that patience saves them from embarrassing mistakes. 10, they don't lose emotional control in public. Emotions are human, but public explosions usually cost more than they fix. Highly intelligent people notice the rise of anger or frustration early, and instead of erupting, they step away, not to suppress, but to respond better later. Composure protects influence. So here's the truth most people eventually discover. Real intelligence is less about what you show and more about what you choose to restrain. Anyone can speak. Anyone can react. Anyone can try to appear impressive, but the people who quietly rise in respect, they've mastered these small decisions. If even one of these hit you today, imagine how many other behaviors are shaping how people read you without you realizing it. That's what we explore here. So, if you like understanding human behavior at a deeper level and becoming someone others naturally trust and admire, subscribe. You're in the right place.